Hi, I gave a link to where I found the tutorial to make this mask, and what the mask is it's two pieces of printed fabric that's woven, and it's supposed to have a inside, there's supposed to be another layer that is flannel. And I didn't have any flannel, so what I did on the inside of this mask was I took some other woven fabric. And at first I was cutting it just square, but then I realized I could start cutting it on the bias, which means you take your fabric, which is, if this is up down, you turn it 45 degrees and you get an angle. Let me tell you about woven fabrics for a second. Woven fabrics, if you can think of a loom, you have your strings that you have this way, and then you take other strings that you weave in and out, and this is what you get. You get a crosshatch. So that's a woven fabric. So why they're saying use woven fabrics with print on it is the prints are adding another layer of blockage to this woven structure here. So what is the difference between that and fleece? And I realized, because it's so important, I didn't have any fleece, but actually I have old pajamas, so I can take old pajamas. The way that fleece is made is, it's just a jumble. So that's why they're saying have this on the outside, have this jumble on the inside, and then have another piece of this. You may think, oh, is that the same as a knit? Well, a knit is made, if you can think of some yarn, it's just these loops. And then the next loop comes in and around and in and around. So you're still not getting the same sort of structure barrier that you're getting from, this is like a screen window plus some, non-structured piece and then another this. So what I did on mine, what I meant by doing on the bias is, this is my first layer. Then my next layer, since I just put it at an angle, is like this. And then my last layer is like this. So this is these are the woven fabrics. So this mask isn't the best because this is how I did it. And I say do this, this, and then this. So anyway, that's your difference between your wovens, your fleeces, and your knits. And so if you do have old kid pajamas, you can cut those up. So here is the mask for the adult. And then I made, oh my goodness, this darling little tiny one for my infant. Now here's the thing, if you have infants and kids, they don't really like things on their ears. And even though this is a good size of elastic for an adult, it's not a good size for a kid. So cute as a button, but it's just not going to work. So my next iteration, and this is not approved by anybody, I just sort of did it because that's where we are today. I had this thicker fabric, which was not going to work for an ear loop. And I made it's the same sort of large square. Actually, for this one, I think I went too small. So for the adult, this was 9 inches by 6 inches. And then for an infant, I think I did something like 6 inches by something. It's just too small. There's actually a lot of face between ear to ear. So this one, I think I went back up, I think this is 7.5 inches across, a nice length. And then instead of doing this pleating where you put in the 3 pleats to help make a thing over the face, I just folded up the bottom and I stitched it over. Just really simple, just folded up the bottom and stitched it over. And then what happens is this goes over the head, and then this sort of forms a chin pocket. Now you don't look as good, it's not as sexy, and it doesn't form that sort of pleated thing, but you got something over your kid's face and head. And the other thing that I made this one for my older son. It's a tiny, the difference between the one for the 4-year-old and the one for the infant is very, very small. But what's great about this is it's really hard for a kid when he's running around to get those 2 little straps back over his ears if they slip down. So this one with the pocket, the chin's kind of resting here, and this is going over the mouth. What's great is he can put this over his head. My 4-year-old can put this over his head and readjust it. So that is the modification that I made Like I said, I didn't find it anywhere. I just guessed it. I'm sure this isn't great. It's not great. It's just what we've got with the materials that we had at home. So hope you guys are staying safe out there. And again, watch the original tutorial that's on the link. And then this is just the modification. All right.